All right, welcome back and now ready for your final assignment. You can redo everything we just did right here for your final assignment and then just add more buildings and add more details, or you can start over. Well, you should start over, but start something new. What happens if you put the horizon line up high and make a building? You have your horizon line up higher, and then you add a vertical line for your building to start. And again, the top and bottom of that vertical line can connect to the vanishing point. You can create guidelines if you want for the bottom of it, like I have here, and guidelines for the top. I'm just going to do this quickly here. And create a scene. If you have it below the horizon line, you're going to be able to see the tops of your buildings. And it's going to be more like a bird looking down. Remember, that bird is flying in the sky, and anything below the horizon line is the bird's eye view. So then you can draw your buildings from here and have them like that. Don't forget, if we're going to make a top of a building or top of a square or rectangle, we crisscross back here. Wherever they meet in the middle is the back of the building. So here would be like your corner building, and then you can add your other buildings again by drawing vertical lines and connecting it to each vanishing point. This one will have an alleyway in between. I can go like that, making sure I line up my ruler, vertical line down. This part's already connected to VP2, so I'm just going to make it a solid line for the bottom of my building right there. Solid line for the top, and show the rest of this building. So here is a way to create the start of a scene. You can do this on both sides. And what you have then is, right here is an alleyway. You could extend that alleyway to wrap behind the building. So it goes from here to the bottom of this building, stops, jumps, go behind the center building. Maybe it stops here, and let me make the bottom of that road, which would start here. I'm going to jump behind the building. Again, this is lined up to VP1. If I go something like that, then I can make this road go back to VP2, and now we have like some city streets that we can see. I'm going to jump here, going back. This is going to extend back here. Remember, as things get further away from us, they get smaller. And now we have a road that turns like that. We can add other side streets. We can extend this out further and really create like kind of a neat scene that you're looking down on as a bird. So this is if you make the horizon line a little bit higher, you're going to start to see this angle of the building. So feel free to change that up. What happens if you make the horizon line low? Like this. This would be great if you want floating buildings or a floating cityscape or something flying in the sky. Your horizon line could be up here. You could make a floating building up here, starting with the vertical line, connecting it to each vanishing point, and making it and starting your design from up here. And maybe you have a whole sky of buildings that are floating. This is connecting to VP2. Again, this will be like a worm's eye view. You're a small worm looking up at the sky, seeing the bottoms of the buildings. Vertical line here. If I don't quite connect, I would erase. There, again, to see the bottom of the building, you crisscross those 2 points. And wherever they crisscross, going to opposite vanishing points, is the back of the building. So here is a view of what it would look like with a low horizon line. Of course, you could have things floating up here, which would be kind of cool to have doors and windows. Or you could have super large buildings that feel really tall. If I cross that center line over the horizon line, and then I touch it to both vanishing points, this would be my sidewalk down here. And I'm starting it the same way we started our practice one. But then I'm going to make really tall feeling buildings because that horizon line is so low. That line went to VP1, vertical down. This line is going to VP2, maybe behind the floating building, and then down. And then I have a really tall building that we're looking up, and we've got really small road down here with people, and now we're starting to make it feel like we're looking up at a really large city. So you could experiment with that too on a fresh piece of paper. Again, this is horizon line in the middle. Then we have horizon line high and horizon line low. And then what happens if you want to create something and really challenge yourself? A building that would be normal, or your house. You could take a picture of something, and right here I have a picture on an iPad. I hope you can kind of see that. Whatever you take a picture of, if you have something that looks like it's in the middle, angled view, here would be your vertical line, and then the horizon line would be down here. You follow your finger, you follow all these lines. They all follow to each vanishing point, and this is a real picture that goes to each vanishing point, and you can replicate that on a piece of paper. I have another picture here of a building that you can see. I just grabbed a book and found a random building. Find the middle line. Here's the middle vertical line, and the tops of all these windows on the left will go off to an imaginary vanishing point way over here, and all the ones on the right will go to imaginary vanishing point over here. And this again is in 2-point perspective. Just happen to have this picture laying around. Some of you might recognize this place. This gets a little bit more complicated. So if you find a picture like this you want to replicate, first of all, this is a straight on view. And you'd have to try to figure out where you could find the 2-point perspective. So we see a horizon line down here. And the reason I know the horizon line is down here is because I look at some of my straight lines. And those straight lines, for example, this tower right here, go front to VP2, and this angle goes to VP1. Now they're going to be off the page, but where they touch is going to be the horizon line. So if I were to imaginary put a vertical line in the middle like this, we kind of have this curving off to those vanishing points with the horizon line going through this building. Now this has a lot of curves, a lot of different angles to it. This is a highly challenging building. If you want to take it on, go for it. See what you can do. Let me know, email me if you get stuck. We could figure out something like that. But if you want to find a building to replicate, go for it. But I would look for a corner angled view of it to help you discern where the vanishing points are, left and right. I have one more example here, a little Lego book. Again, here's a picture of a building. Right in the middle, here's that vertical line. And if I would take my ruler, both the top and bottom go over to a vanishing point somewhere off the page over here, with the horizon line that would go through. All the tops of these windows and bottoms go to VP2. All the tops and bottoms go to VP1. Same with this one over here, vertical line down. All the stories go to opposite vanishing points. So you can find a building like that to replicate, maybe your own house, or you can make up one on your own. So go ahead and try it. Here's your instructions, what you're going to be graded on. You're going to have more than 8 buildings in your picture. Now I'm going to put buildings in quotes because maybe you want to draw little huts, or maybe you want to draw helicopters, or maybe you want to draw structures. If you have them drawn in there, or trucks, I could count that maybe as a structure or a building. So I want at least 8 of something. Like this could be an airplane. So you're going to have at least 8 of those. I want you to come up with a theme for your cityscape. So maybe you have it all colored in black and white and red. Maybe you have it Brewers themed. Maybe you have it sports themed. Maybe all your buildings relate to toys, different types of shoes. I just don't want a plain old cityscape. I want you to think of colors that can tie it together to have unity, or some sort of theme that would be interesting to you. Sports world, every building is a different sport. I don't care. You also are going to need somewhat of a sidewalk or a curb. And I'm going to put these in quotes as well, because if you're underwater, where's that one? Maybe this one would be underwater. And instead of straight lines for a path, you make them like a sandy cobblestone seashell path underneath here, something that shows there's pathways, sidewalks and curbs that go in between your buildings. And then I'm going to have you have a lot of details. I want to see a lot of details. Now you can look on Art Sonia at last year's and last trimester's pictures of the 2-point perspective to see what kind of details you can make. Google 2-point linear perspective and look at drawings from other people to get ideas. Get as creative as possible, but remember, all lines are vertical or to a vanishing point. All lines are vertical or to a vanishing point. If you start to cheat and start to make peaked rooftops or curved windows, you run the risk of not following the rules. And I'm not saying that it's never going to happen, but if you're confused, try it this way first. I'm available for you to talk to if you need me, and we can go from there. So those are just some ideas that you can do. And again, go back to this one. Go back to the videos and just start from the very beginning. If you want to just make this one, this will get you an A. That'll be great. And then add your own details and your own touches to it with your own theme. Color it in with your own theme. Maybe you do every other building a different color and have some fun. But that's kind of the gist and some options. Feel free to challenge yourself as much as you want to challenge yourself and go from there. So if you have questions, let me know, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.